Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I'm going to be previewing the upcoming DC Designs Sukhoi SU-27 flanker. Now you can see it comes with 7 liveries and we'll just go through those quickly. So the first one is the digi-camoed Ukrainian Air Force. Then we've got a multi-grey coloured Russian Air Force. Then we've got a multi-coloured yellow 08 from the Kazakhstan Air Force. And then we've got 2 sort of modern era style liveries from the Russian Air Force. Then we have a classic Soviet style era livery, and then last but not least we have a multi-brown beigey camoed livery from the Uzbekistan Air Force. For this video I'll be using the classic Soviet era style, as these are the this is the sort of style that I saw as a child in grainy photos back in the 80s. Sort of a nostalgic feeling looking at this aircraft, so we're going to jump in this one and take a look at the cockpit. Alright then, let's have a good old rummage around. So as you can see, it's been beautifully replicated, very close to the real aircraft. If you've ever seen the inside of the cockpit of an SU-27. Textures are nice and weathered, bit grimy as you would expect with this type of aircraft. And yeah, we'll go from left to right in a traditional sense. We'll go over the switches and the gauges and just have a good old time. So start with the sidewall here. We've got a vent lever, our oxygen on off, the mix of oxygen, whether it's 100% or mixed, cabin pressure dump, ventilation for the suit, and our cockpit temperature knob. Throttles there as you would expect. Up a bit further than that we have a combat / training motor regime, so don't think that's operative, but it is there. You can click it. This is our canopy open close. Just going to open that, and this is our parachute deploy button, so we can either have that on or off. So if we land, we don't want to use the parachutes, we can leave that in the off position, or we can put it in the on position, and as the air brakes are deployed and the aircraft slows down, it will deploy the chutes. Now coming on to the main left side panel. These are circuit breaker type switches. They're switchable but not implemented. This is inoperative. I believe this is data link related. Again, clickable but not operative. This is our comms and nav panel. So our nav radio dial-in frequencies are here, comms here, and various other clickable switches. Come here, we can hide the throttle, which I'm going to use for this one just for the second. So under the covers here we have our shut off switches for fuel for the engines, and afterburners here. These are our air intake adjust switches, so they can be in manual or auto. They're in manual at the moment. This is our leading flaps, and we can leave that in auto, or we can put it in retracted or in full. Best left in auto. This is the power switch for our flaperons. This cover is clickable but nothing there. Under these covers are our air starter switches. Up from that we've got our flaps, down up, nozzle steering, our alpha G limiter. That's the magic switch, so that if you want to perform a Cobra, that is your best friend. Next to that is the air intake protector mesh. Now these are the FOD guards that come up on the air intake. So if you're taking off or landing into a semi-prepared or rough strip, this will cover the air intakes. So the air is sucked in above the engines and not in front, and will protect any FOD that may get sucked up into that, and that's in off, or you can have it in auto. Next to that we've got windshield heat on or off. Nothing clickable there. This is the parking brake, or handbrake as I like to call it. Next to that is our flying control system mode. It's in auto, or we can change it to flight or landing. Nothing clickable here. Above that we have our roll and yaw dampers. Nothing clickable here. Up from that we have our ACS FCS link. Now basically this switch links the autopilot, which is here, to the control systems. So if you want to use autopilot, you will need to flick the switch over for it to take over the flying controls. I'm not sure if this is actually usable, but this is a mode selector, I'm guessing, to use with autopilot. So takeoff, route 1, route S, 0.2, min, landing, put it all the way back to takeoff. Above this we have some more switches for radar pulses and azimuth, and countermeasures, radar, things like that, which isn't usable. This will change some of the modes in the head down display over here, which I'll show you once we're up and running. And this is target differential altitude, which again is clickable, but nothing can be used in it. Up onto the main panel. Now we have gear lever, landing light, our mechanical devices indicator here. This will show landing gear up or down, flaps, air brakes, and I'm guessing these could be leading edge flaps, and they'll illuminate when in use. Now in the real aircraft, this is a hydraulic indicator, and whenever anything is being used, this mode usually flashes. It doesn't in this aircraft. Clock, radar altimeter, angle of attack and G meter, our speed, our altitude, and our compass, CDI, artificial horizon. I'm just going to click down here and hide the yoke. These aren't clickable in any way. That is a tail hook for if you want to use this as an SU-33. You can use it on the, if you have the I think it's Touching Cloud, is it? Touching Cloud Kuznetsov. Well, any aircraft carrier, but that's the tail hook switch there. Up from here, these are our trim indicators. If pitch, roll and yaw are in the neutral, these will illuminate green. If they're not, obviously they will switch off. Turn slip indicator. I can't remember what this gauge is for, but it's engine related. We may come back to that one when we're all started. RPMs, we have our temperatures here. Starting lights, so once the starting procedure has begun, this will illuminate green. When it's up and running, that will disengage. Here we have our fuel gauge. This is the ECRAN Integrated Information System panel, not implemented on this aircraft. Warning lights. Under here we've got the SPO-15 Beriosa radar warning system. Unfortunately not implemented in the sim, but it's nice to see that it's part of the cockpit. Under here is our pylon weapons indicator here, so we'd have our pylons illuminated up here if we've got the pylons attached, and then underneath weapons, it will illuminate when we have a weapon on that station. Coming across, we've got master arm and various other weapons related switches here, clickable but don't do anything. Our HUD head-up display switches, so this is brightness. We have night, day and reticle, and we'll get more into that once it's up and running. This is our head down display. Now you can turn the map on and off of the image on there. We can also change it so that it has a HUD repeater on the real aircraft, on both the MiG-29 and the SU-27. They both have HUD repeaters, basically showing the same information as what is on the HUD. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but it is. That's been included on this aircraft. Under that, we've got the DDI brightness and the map range, or radar range in quotation marks. Okay, and now onto the right hand side. So we have here some data link switches. Again, data link is not a thing on Flight Sim, but they're there and they're clickable. What is clickable and works: pitot heat and angle of attack sensor heater. On here we've got inoperative switches, and none of those work. None of this works. Now this is our sort of navigational source. So we've got GPS, TACAN, destination or set destination or active approach, inoperative, VOR1, VOR2, heading hold off, heading managed off. We can switch those on. Inoperative, inoperative. Again, they're all inoperative apart from flight plan clear and revert. So if you do have a flight plan, you can switch that around so you can fly back to base if needed. None of these are implemented, but again, you can click them if you want to. Same with this and these buttons here. Again, I'm not 100% sure what they do. This is transponder. So you dial in your transponder number here, controls to switch that on or on the sidewall here, and then we have a TACAN channel input instrument display here. Now TACAN is not a real thing on the SU-27, but, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I've read at one stage that some of the Ukrainian Air Force were receiving some Western avionic upgrades so that they could, you know, participate and integrate with NATO aircraft, and it was a thing, and I believe they were applied to digicamoed Ukrainian Air Force SU-27s. Again, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was a thing and it had to be in place for them to participate at RIAT. Again, don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that some of them received some Western avionic upgrades. I'm pretty sure Grey Wolf's aircraft was one of those. Under this we have our internal lighting. External lighting. The pilot visibility is connected to the strobe light, so flicking that on in external view, the pilot will be visible. Behind here we've got all of our engine, battery and generator switches and our ground power. Okay, and then on the right hand wall we have all of our power switches for the systems in the cockpit. This will be of chaff and flare setup. Again, not a thing, not at the moment anyway. It may come at a later date, and is clickable. This is all part of the IFF system. Again, not a thing, but clickable. Here we have Pyropatron 1 and 2. Not sure if they actually do anything, but they're clickable. And then we have wing light switch here, which does smoke. Okay, and that is that. We have a whiskey compass up here as a backup. Right, Let's do external while off, and we'll just have a quick walk around. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick walk around. As you can see, the actual textures for the liveries look great. Obviously not as good as they could look because it's on my system, and my system's a bit of a dinosaur. If you're running a better graphics card higher than a 3050, these will look great on your sim. But the grime and everything associated with delivery just looks fantastic. Just beautiful. I absolutely love this aircraft. It's always been one of my all-time favourites. Just going back to what I said about the FOD guards. Now, I'm getting that confused with the MiG-29 because the MiG-29, when the FOD guards come up, there are some slats at the top here that will open up, and they will suck air in through the top and down. Same with the Yak 130. I don't know if you've noticed on the trainer, they have a big sort of piece that slides down, covers the intake, and the air is sucked in through the top. So if they're using rough strips, the engines don't get damaged. But on the SU-27, the air is sucked in either side, so the mesh will come down, but the air will come in through the sides instead of in the front. We have our air-to-air refueling probe there. I don't think that if it is there, I've not managed to find it in the cockpit. I managed to get it to pop out, so I'm not sure that's a thing at the moment, or if it will be a thing. But yeah, looks fantastic. Really does. The engine areas look really good with the burnt metal and different shades of grime and different types of metal that's used in the build-up. Also, the chaff flare dispensers here look great. So yeah, got the IRST at the front, the infrared search and track. That will move when the aircraft is up and running. Again, I'll do another external once it is up and running, and we'll have a look at the weapons as well. So yeah, let's get the beast breathing. Okay, so everything is now up and running. Engines are burning. So yeah, all is good in the world, and let's just have a look around some of the stuff that we can just sort of mess around with. So data link encryption things, I mean, even though they're not implemented, we can still mess around with them. Here with our comms and nav, zoom in a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune into Trent VOR, which is 115. Now to change that over to so that we can change the frequency this side, we need to left hold the mouse button, right click, and now we can change the left hand side. And to get back again, we just do it again, and there we go. I'm sure 115.7, I'm sure it will be. Once we get up in the air, that's where I'm going to fly to, just to show you some more bits and pieces. So there you go. We've got all of our bits switched on. We've got our mesh guards on. Nozzle steering is automatically implemented. I'm sure there's a low and a high gain, which you can change by clicking that. Looking around, as you can see, our mechanical devices indicator is showing flaps, leading edge flaps deployed. Hydraulic system is up and running. Our gear is down. Put the air brake up, air brake down. Okay, as you can see, we've got our pylon system here. It's all illuminated. Right, so which should I do first? Should I do HUD or head down display? I'll go for the HUD as it's the more simpler to implement. Now at the moment we've got everything in just standard HUD mode, so the different types of modes I'll go into once we're up and flying. But this switch here, we can change it from day to night, so obviously that dims it slightly for daytime. Now this is the one that I wanted to show you, the reticle. Now this is a nice implementation, as this is a backup on the real aircraft for if the weapon control system fails. It gives the pilot some areas to aim for, so that you can still get the missiles off the rails, and you can fire your guns. So in backup mode, this cross here is aligned with the aircraft's gun, and this X is where to place the aircraft for a heat-seeking air-to-air missile shot, just to get the the seeker in the right position. And I thought that was a really nice thing to add, as it's a real thing on a lot of Russian aircraft. So I'm going to change that back to daytime. Now coming on to our good friend here, the head down display, or HDD. Now as you can see, we have map. You can see the river, the airport, things like that. We can switch that off. We can still see the airport, but it just takes the green away. I think that takes the immersion away if you do that, so I always keep mine on. Now we're going to flick on the HUD repeater, and as you can see, everything that's up on the HUD for weapons systems is now down on the HDD, and we can flick that back like that. Then we change the range of what we're looking at all the way up to 200 kilometers. I think that's in. Don't think it's nautical miles. Get that back to 10, and this will dim or brighten up the DDI, and also the more controls for that over here. At the moment it's in bore sight mode, my mode, but if we rotate it up one, you'll see that we have navigation mode, and it just lights the whole thing up, turning it essentially into a sort of green GPS. Then we've got the beyond visual range electro-optical system mode. So the BVR, if you didn't know, the heat-seeking missiles can have an extended range in the SU-27 by using the electro-optical system, which is the IRST on the front here. What that'll do is they can slave the seeker head onto the IRST here, which has a further range. You can seek a lot further, lock on, and then until that seeker becomes pitbull, then you can come off of the IRST, and that seeker heat-seeking missile, which would normally have a shorter range, you can extend that using the electro-optical system up front. Next is beyond visual range radar mode. Again, this is for radar guided missiles, but again, a nice little add-on there. Next is vertical scan mode. So a big wide slice of the pie there, being searched for enemies. Optical mode, again, is another version, but using the optics on the front. And then we have helmet mode, which normally you have a circle come up here. It's not like the sophisticated head-mounted display that Western aircraft have, where it will show everything that's on the HUD basically over here. In this mode, it slaves the seeker head for heat-seeking missiles to the helmet-mounted sight, and it gives it the seeker head a more of a bigger azimuth to point around and pick a target. So it will slave to that you'll lock on to a target that's sort of out of the range of the missile. You can still fire the missile off, but then that seeker will follow wherever the helmet mode sight is, and it's usually a little green circle, but that's like I say, it's not been implemented. So we're going to bring this all the way back down to bore sight mode and just leave it as that. What else can we show you? Okay, so I think that's really it for the moment until we're up and flying. Like I say, this is transponder mode. I'll change my transponder code to the one that I normally use when I fly, 1776. We can switch that to the on position. Come on, there. Okay, now let's go external. Now, another thing to add is at the moment sim acoustics are a bit behind because they've got such a huge workload on. Sounds for the Saturn AL31Fs aren't actually available at the moment. They're still being worked on or in the pipeline, and they will be coming soon. I think by September I think is the estimated time of arrival for those. So the real sounds for the real aircraft are in production, but for the moment they're using the F4 J79 sounds. So let's jump outside. Okay, so now you can see that the FOD guards are up, and all the lights are on, and we can bring the air brake up, put it back down again, and we've got our nozzle positions. I'm not going to push that too hard. Don't want the aircraft to roll away, so all the systems moving. Now what we can do is look at the weapons. So to do that we have to bring up the weight and balance screen, and we're going to want left hand side, so I believe this will be one of them. So there you go, we've got an R73 on the pylon there. And we've got another one on the next station. Okay, I did that the wrong station there. Let's just load the whole aircraft up. Okay, 190. Okay, so we've got them on the very tips, and the first inboard. Next we can bring on the R77s, which weigh a little bit more, so 350s. Or 3,500 if you're me. So let's do that again. And R27 this time. Radar guided missile. So we can get this in beast mode. Close that now. And as you can see, we have a lot of air defence hanging off the pylons there. It really does look the part. It's fantastic. So yeah, we have weapon systems, well not weapon systems, but we have weapons, and yeah, it really does look like a beast. And now just to show you, there's a change on the weapons panel here. When it's yellow you can see that we have weapons on board. When it's red it means the station is empty. So there you go, a nice change, an addition there as well, just to add that little bit more immersion. Just unfortunate we cannot fire them. So next will be just going over the HUD modes once we're up in the air, and just showing you the additions that make this a little bit more special than the standard Western aircraft. Right, so we're going to taxi out to the runway. I'm going to do a short hop down to RAF Coningsby just to show you some of the characteristics of the aircraft, and well, it's just nice to include a flight, I suppose, and a landing at the end. So we're going to taxi out. Like I say, nozzle steering will be either high or low gain, and you seriously want to keep the taxi speed around about 10, either 10 knots or 10 kilometers an hour, so that you can get around the corners without tipping the aircraft, because this thing really does not like turning when heavy. Just going to use the brakes there. Now, another thing that I love on this HUD is we have our little triangle here. When you are accelerating, that triangle will move right. When you're decelerating, it will move left. It's nice to see that up on the HUD. And our little triangle there will take us. I have Trent VOR plumbed in. As you can see, we're not like a normal Western aircraft where it will give you all your information, you know, everything like that. You need to get into that mode proper. So before I do that, I need to get up in the air. Anybody wondering, I'm at Durham Tees Valley Airport, former RAF Middleton St George, where Draken are based at the moment with their aircraft, their L-159s I believe they are, and their Falcon 20s. Just chosen this as a red air base because it makes sense, as they provide red air. So we're not too far from RAF Coningsby. I'm just going to get out on 2-3. Making sure all our systems are good, temps are good, the RPMs are good, all our instruments are reading as they should. Okay, so let's throttle up. Burners on. Rotate. Hold that. We're up. Gear up. Nice tight pull up there. Now the thing to notice in this HUD, where your nose is pointing is this circle here, not the datum. Ignore the datum. Another thing that you will notice is that this datum will actually turn and not the surrounding area of a HUD like you would be used to in a Western aircraft, like this. Okay, and that could be a little bit confusing if you're not used to Russian aircraft, but you will get used to it after a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to level off here, get our nose pointer just there. Okay, I'm just going to switch on the autopilot for a second. So master is on. I want to hold the altitude, flight director on, just for the moment, and we're going to bring the speed down ever so slightly. Okay, now I want to get our navigation mode to VOR1. So get VOR1 on. Okay, and again, beautiful thing added to the HUD. Our turning or steering cue is a big green circle, and also we've got this here, but usually once you have this big green circle in line, well, with this on the inside, you're facing the right direction. As you can see, we're 80.4 kilometers away, and what I'm going to do now if I can, we need to go in this direction at that level, and I want to go into heading hold. No, I don't. I want... Yes, I do. I want heading hold on. We need to head in that direction. So what I'm going to do is take us to Trent, and then do some aerobatics in this thing, and then head to Coningsby, just to make the flight a little bit more interesting. Just to show you that you can use the autopilot if you really want to. You don't have to. Obviously I could do this manually, but there's a lot of stuff to take in. There's a lot more to implement in a Russian aircraft than a Western one. It basically, in a Western aircraft, we'd dial it in, press VOR1 as the nav, and everything would be up on the screen. But there are a few more things to do in this, just to get where we want to be. And I believe everything, the heading, the altitude hold is just that, an altitude hold. You can't change the altitude that you want, whereas that is what this would indicate. We would put in an altitude that we want, and then that would show at the top, and again with the speed hold, but there is no speed hold, I don't believe, in this. And just to show you this, if we throttle back, as you can see, the triangle has shifted to the left slightly, and now we are losing speed. If I speed up, that triangle will shift to the right, showing that we're speeding up. And if I just bring it back and let it just settle, the triangle will settle in the middle and our speed will stay constant. So we've got 64 kilometers away. See if we can find it on our map. Okay, so we're finally coming up to Trent. As you can see on our HDD, we have Trent pop up there. We're 18, we're 14 kilometers away. So the steering cue is now showing us where it is on the ground, basically. So that's just gone down underneath us. So I'm going to disengage the autopilot, turn off flight director for now. Okay, so as you would expect with this thing, it is immensely manoeuvrable. Now what I'm going to do is do something that really isn't a normal thing, but I've used it a lot on DCS as well, is flying without the G limiter on. So you can do stupid things like this. You can pull really tight circles, which would normally not be a thing for the flanker in the normal G mode, but you can really throw this thing around. See if we can do a Cobra. That was a semi-Cobra. I haven't nailed it yet, but I'm getting there. And it's also possible to do the tail slide as well, which with most aircraft you'd get engine surge, because obviously the air needs to come in through the front, whereas with the flanker, with the Saturn AL31s, they can withstand a little bit of reverse movement. Okay, we're going to switch that G meter back on. G limiter, sorry, there. Okay. So yeah, like I say, this thing is pretty manoeuvrable. You can have a lot of fun in it. Not tried any red air in it or ACM, but I'm sure it's fun to have a little bit of a dance with somebody else in this thing. And yeah, It is a lovely aircraft to add to your hangar, just simply because it's something different. A lot of systems on it, a lot of work has gone into it, and it's a lot of fun. So let's head to Coningsby. Which way we're heading at the moment? So we're heading in the general direction of Coningsby, sort of that way. And I think it's 43 X-ray. And if we stick the steering in TACAN, where's it? 48 X-ray. There we go, 48 X-ray. So we're 49 kilometers away. Lined up. Stick that back on again. Right director. And one altitude hold. And heading hold is on. We head towards Coningsby. Again, there's no way of knowing that it's Coningsby. You've got nothing up here, so you need to know your codes. I think I can see it actually. Not that far away. Is that over there? No, that's not it over there. Bit of an issue there. It's showing that we are going away, unless that's because of Trent VOR. Yep, take the VOR off and that triangle disappears. We're still 8,000 feet up. So I'm going to take off the barometric altitude, change my attitude to a descending, and hopefully we will get keep that on. Got a bit of a glitch going on here. Getting a little bit bumpy. Must be a bit of a strong side wind because we are seem to be at a permanent slanted angle. Look at the HDD. So there's Cranwell and there's Coningsby dead ahead. Okay, we want to be at around about 2,000 feet. We're going to pass over the top and turn around and I'll bring it in for a landing on the autopilot. Slow it down. Cranwell over there. Okay, and keep the altitude. And there's Coningsby. Excellent. Right, so dial in 111 small 15 for the runway. Take TACAM mode off. If we can get this thing facing in the right direction now, so we can get the glide slope and localizer. gear down. Flaps down and stick it on approach. Make sure the parachute is in, releases in on, which it is. Now the aim is to get the big circle and the little circle merged. That way we're bang on glide slope and localizer. Pretty much the same as getting a cross in Western aircraft. Need to get the speed down to around about 170. Make sure our brake pressures are working. Left, right, yep, all good. Now there is no auto throttle, so I'm doing all this manually. Okay, air brake open. Chutes deployed. Okay, just going to release the brakes there, disconnect the autopilot, shut down the flight director. And of course, close the air brake. And we're just going to park it here because I don't trust the parking spaces over there. It's quite a large aircraft. Okay, there we go. Down the shut off, open the canopy. And there we go. That was quite an enjoyable brief demo there. So let's get on to the summary. Okay, so I'm just going to sum this up quickly. Don't know pricing at the moment, and I believe it's releasing in within the next couple of weeks on Marketplace and Just Flight. Just to cover the aircraft again, it looks fantastic. The cockpit, it's done an incredible job of the cockpit. It really does look the part. The aircraft itself as well, absolutely fantastic. Its control, the agility of the aircraft when you take the G limiter off is insane. There's a lot of power. Now, just to bring up, I know people are going to say they're going to mention DCS at some point. The flanker on DCS is not as close to the real aircraft as you think. Obviously, classified figures, they were given permission to make the SU-27 for DCS, providing that they kept away from official parameters, basically. So if anybody goes into this one saying, oh, there's nothing like the DCS one, if anyone gets in the DCS one, I'm sure if a real flanker pilot got into that, he would say there's nothing like the real thing, simply because classified figures. What the information out there is limited, so some of it has had to be estimated as close as possible, and I believe this aircraft has been done with all the figures that is possibly available out there in real life. But it flies great, it handles lovely, plenty of power, and a lot of fun to fly around, and it's a lot different to what you'd expect with a Western aircraft, which is nice. It's nice to have something different in the hangar. Bit of red air, so you've got something different to play with. A lot of systems on there, autopilot. You've got the addition of TACAN, VORs, ILSs, things like that. The HUD and the heads down display, fantastic. Again, night lighting looks great. Liveries are fantastic as well, and I believe, just going to put this out there, that this is the best, I think, overall in terms of initial release package. I think this is the best that DC Designs have released to date. It really is that good. Fantastic job all round. So I'm just going to leave it there. Anybody who follows my channel, I'll update with price and that as I know. I will put it on my community. I'll put a community post up letting you know. But I may do some live streaming in this as well in the coming days, and also some demos for startups and navigation, things like that. So if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.